Hello, Green. So today we have I believe, Ascendant Raze player known as Green sending in a VOD today, and yeah, let's get this party started.
How do you play someone that bad?
30 minutes? Alright, I hope you cook. Alright, why am I doing this?
Green. Green.
What?
We could have picked today.
No, I was playing Minecraft and Brawl.
This guy deaf?
I'm just living.
Wait, okay.
Green.
I got a flash on that. Wait, yeah, no.
Green.
What?
Bye.
Spike planted.
You have nade, by the way. And boom bot. And you have a ghost. No shield.
Nightmare's over.
You have boom bot.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Teammates goaded.
Okay, nice round. Only thing that if we're the goal here is you being a perfect Valorant player, okay? Only thing I want to see better that I want you to call out with is this nade needs to be timed when your teammates are walking in. That way, that misposition that this nade creates, because they have to move out of backside, they have to walk into your line of sight. I want that to be happening as you guys are walking in onto site. Just making sure that timing is a little closer together so you can really take advantage of the displacement. But overall, pretty clean round. All right, we'll skip this one. Let's see some crazy rifle rounds, Green. Oh! We have a throw.
Valorant.
Okay.
Dude, they're all the way pushed. No fucking comms at all, and they're in our spawn.
All right, we'll just ignore it. I don't want to talk about that. It is what it is. It happens. Come on, YouTube.
Please don't fail me. Please don't fail me.
I didn't say that word.
Oh, can she move, bro? Every time.
You want me to say it?
Okay, just want to say that this like method of like holding A is really bad. You guys will get collided. You guys will run into each other. This is not necessary. Especially on a save round, you guys want to be when they have rifles and weapon advantage. You guys need to be like riding out on sight, doubling up, and trying to just like
Come B.
in these safe situations. You guys getting a single kill is like a miracle, and I think you guys need to play that way. Like, yes, you're probably gonna lose a save round, but you need to play in a way that like
What's that, Jack? Bro, no, I'm done. I'm beating.
that can really just be good at like one particular play, if that makes sense, right? Like if you all have like sheriffs going against rifles, you're not trying to do like 1C, 1B, 1A, like a 5-man front, and then you're just waiting for them to push in and you're hopefully winning that gunfight. No, you're gonna lose that because they have rifles. You want to be hiding, you want to be organizing 2-man plays, like shotgun plays, any kind of cheese. That's how you turn this round into like these kinds of save rounds into an actual round, and that's what I need to be looking for. You need to just be riding out with 2 people. That's all you need to do, because you're probably going to lose a round anyway. So you might as well go for the miracle play and hurt their econ at the minimum. Because like in these 30 rounds, when you have a sheriff, you don't deserve to think about the round yet, or you don't get to think about winning the round yet, if that makes sense. You got to get those first 2 picks, and maybe if you're lucky, you have numbers advantage, like a 4v3, and then you can just let them plant the bomb, and then you can just numbers and collapse on them. That's what I wanted to see for these kind of save rounds. But yeah, moving on.
I have flash if they push.
Right, we can speed this up a bit.
They just walk at A. Are you kidding?
Push up C.
All right. Also, I don't like the spot that you're holding. I think it's too exposed. If they flash or any kind of util, you're gonna get hit by it. If your goal is to be holding B site and you're kind of solo, just be where your Reyna is standing. You never want to be on this site when the drone is coming in, the Raze is ass placking in, jet stashing in. You do not want to be here. Especially with 30-40 seconds down the round and you guys have 0 intel, there's like a decent chance there's like 3-4 people will be main, and you do not want to be standing in the open. Just like for whenever they decide to press the go button, you do not want to be standing here. Yeah. So at most, this is as like where you're standing right now. If you're, did a 180 and you're looking at site, that is the most I would peek on the site. I would not peek any further because of how fucked it is.
Spike planted.
Taking sight.
All right, so here's like a decent time to think about the round. Yeah, it's kind of losable. Not as losable. Now the chance of winning is very, very low, but there's still hope. In these situations, you really need to be coordinating with your duo, the last people alive, because this situation is absolutely fucked. If you win this round, that means the enemy team fucked up on like so many different levels. Okay, and because of that, we need to play in a way that allow mistakes to happen, if that makes sense. So what I would like to say is you two-manning this tube here. I don't even know what this thing is called. You guys two-manning tube in a 5-man situation is not good, right? I would not give up like a heaven push to 2-man through here and hope to fight out A main. Why? First, you got to fight off A main here, which is really scary. They probably have a guy on site. You're walking into a crossfire here, where the second you peek out of here into like this zone where my mouse is, you're already having to take like at least 2 or more gunfights, at least 2, without a position. I much rather you go heaven, try to just fish out a little bit of space with your boombot, and just try to get 1 or 2 kills, and then maybe you get back into this round. But no way do I want you to 2-man this tube. It's just impossible. It's just not gonna happen. So much better, especially with numbers, for you to just control it. One go heaven, one go here, and you guys can kind of control sight. Even if you die, you have a decent chance of getting at least 1 pick. Yeah. I hope that makes sense, because this is like not. You don't want to be doing that in that kind of round. And this is assuming that we're taking it as seriously as we can, right? Obviously, there's always times to run it down, but
That's wild.
yeah.
Actually.
So this 3-man A-hold is terrible. You guys need to stop doing this. Like off the top of my head, 2-manning tree, 2-manning site, 1 heaven, 1 site, 1 heaven, 2 tree. Any kind of combo that is layered of you guys, right? I need you to be looking for these kinds of things and thinking about these kinds of things, because you do not want to be just fighting these people. Okay. So a couple things you can think about. You guys are getting entryed right now, and the worst thing for an enemy entry is util in their face, right? You guys have this is actually a really good play. Why? You have 4 people on site and they're hitting that site. That's really good for you guys. But your teammates already made contact. Your team knows there's close enemy. The enemy team knows there's close enemies nearby. The enemy knows that you guys are close. So I really want util to be thrown out to help save your teammates here, because you don't. It just helps out a lot. Granted, you're probably going to lose this round already, so just make it as annoying as possible. Yeah, so like when you're stuck in this cubby, for example, this first kill is fine. On the Omen, I don't think it's bad, but I would have much rather you... Oh, you don't even get there. Maybe I can show you the spot. Remember, you can only aim at one angle at a time. I'd much rather you be back into heaven as far as possible, so all you're doing is giving people haircuts, and the only way they can kill you is them giving you a haircut. The closer you get to this ledge, the bigger your hitboxes, and you don't want that. This is suboptimal positioning for this position. Yeah. Okay, and then moving on. So this is good, but now you're stuck in a cubby, right? Like, assuming that everything that you're doing is like what we want. If you're stuck in this cubby, and you know people are getting utiled out, and they have rifles, and they're just gonna like kill you, like given a decent amount of time, they're gonna win all the gunfights. You know, they'll just slowly clear everything. They have weapon advantage, they have util advantage. So you need to make sure that you're just using util here. I guess is my major point. I just think this would have been a really good time to use it. If they know you have it too, one guy is gonna have to be aggressive on you, and you can blast back out, blast back in, all these kinds of plays. It's just things that you need to be thinking about. Instead of you just like hoping that you take this gunfight. Okay, and also when you take this gunfight, I really need this to be a little cleaner. This is a little too much. You need to be slowly working your way out of here. That way you can buy time for your fade to trade you, essentially, with this crossfire you guys have set up. Okay, I said a lot. Please timestamp me if I don't make sense. If you have any questions, really, because this stuff is making sense to me. But it's really just small optimizations here and there.
No, I'm not gonna tell you yet.
Okay,
Maybe.
so one, you do not want to nade here because your teammate just died. Your number one advantage for these kinds of rounds is they kill someone close sight, right? Imagine if you were a guy entering on the C. and you kill the first guy. He's just standing in open, and you immediately kill him. There is a decent chance. I can't give you a percentage, but there's a decent chance that the enemy team thinks this site is free, that C is completely free because of where Omen died. Okay, I want you to take advantage of that, or at least have some kind of response to that. Because if you think about it, right here, 3v5, if you should not be standing on site. In theory, they're just gonna have all this space, and you're gonna die on site for free and turn it into a 2v5, right? Your role, your number one job in these kinds of situations is to take this 3v5 situation and turn it into a 3v4. And how do you do that? You hit somebody that is, you know, being a little overzealous. You might want to play a little more conservative, and like, I don't know, there's just like so many different plays that you could have done instead of throwing that nade. And I know that sounds like kind of, it sounds kind of mean in a way, but I need you to be seeing this. When you throw this nade, they know where you are, and then they know you're going to run CT, and then the round just is the same, if that makes sense. They already have sight. You don't have a nade anymore. The round is just significantly harder. I hope you recognize this point in the decision making matrix for you to change your ways, if that makes sense. You should be saving nade, let them into sight a little bit. The more like free sight seems to be, people are just going to be pushing random things. You can kill one guy, someone's going to try to trade him, you nade that guy out, and this whole round is available to you, if that makes sense. Whereas with this nade, the round kind of just ends here. That is my point that I'm trying to make. Nade isn't bad here, but just think about it, right? After this nade, they're still going to take sight. You're going to have very little damage on the nade. And on top of that, you're not going to have like kill potential on this nade, right? The nade is a really scary ability because you just layer it with someone swinging, and you know they're already lit, and that person always wins the gunfight.
Bro,
Yeah.
this jet. Nah, we lost. This guy.
See, the jet knows that you're on site based off how you threw this nade, and you can take your time pre-aiming. You know, granted, like this elbow kind of situation is like pretty 50-50. Like I don't think anyone really has advantage because people kind of just send it. But either way, like, I just need you to recognize the downsides, the cons of throwing this nade, and how it takes all your options and restricts them instead of you letting them in, and the options kind of just open up. That's the major point that I want you to take away from this moment.
Wait.
Okay. So like, since we're just watching this, I'll give you the best kind of like situation for Raze util, right? You throw a nade. Oh, nice.
Oh my god. 80 raise. Right under you.
You throw a nade and it hits someone and they have to move, or you throw a nade and like that's pretty much it. Like that is what you need. That is your ideal Raze util, and the closer you can get to that, like when you have the nade in your hand and you're about to throw it and you're like, I know I'm gonna make this Omen move out of this corner and then I'm gonna just dome him. The closer you get to that level of like let's say that is nade being used at like 100%. Like the nades don't get better than that. If you can get nades closer to that, that's pretty good. Like let's say you think there's like a big chance that like someone is there in this corner that you're about to throw the nade. While it might not be 100%, it still forces people to move around site. Number one thing I can give you is if you're attacking this site right here on C, throwing this nade mid site is so good. It really forces people to move around. Just thinking like that. I need you to be thinking about that. That way you're layering your util with your gun, and it just makes you that more effective. I think Raze is one of those characters that makes you feel like, or at least makes the enemy team feel like they're fighting against multiple heroes.
I'm on A for some reason.
And that just requires a lot of timing. So like for example, this nade, the nade is okay. I give it like, I don't know if I would pass this nade. Why? It stops them for 2 seconds. They can still re-hit the site. And there's not much damage. What I think would be even crazier, right, is if you, let's say you just let them in, right? You're a guy with a sheriff on C site by yourself, 3, 4, 5 people entering onto you. No one's gonna expect you to live or come out on top, right? But what you can do is let them have sight. You hear some guy plant, and you just throw this nade onto the wall, and he either dies planting, he's super severely damaged while planting, or they just stop planting at all. it's like playing in a way that allows these options to come to you, and you can just kind of counter, if that makes sense. I don't want you to be just throwing all this util too early, and now you're just left with very few options. Like when you don't have your Nate, when you don't have your Raze util, all you can do is just do peaks, and I just feel like that's not how. That's like a suboptimal Raze play.
Oh, probably on top.
Enemy spotted C.
Oh my.
Reloading. Spike planted.
Ooh,
Wait.
Last player standing.
let's try. Okay, so I don't have comms on, and I don't, you know,
Spike planted.
I don't really care too much to rewind to see what's going on comm wise, but I need you to be piecing this round together with your team, okay? Like, think about what needs to be done to win this round, right? You guys obviously want to let them plant because you have 5 people here and they're kind of constrained in this way. Second off, their push plant is probably going to be looking like some people sight and then some guy mound, and they're just hoping to win that engagement. Ask your omen to smoke main. That way they all have to funnel on the site, or like just tell him to smoke main, okay? And that now that he smoked main, you can ask for Reyna I, and then you could just double blast pack rocket in. I want you to be boombotting into, but it's just like the timing and setting these things up. I think you could do a little more work on. Obviously, it's harder because you need to be a little more of an IGL, and you need to be thinking about these things. But I feel like these things are kind of just obvious. Like when people are taking C and they put the bomb on C and they're playing post plant, what kind of util do you want to be using? Number one util you want to be using is smoking off main. Like it's so hard to retake C when there's people mound and they're just throwing util or like whatever the fuck, right? You really want to be cutting C off. You really want to be like Raze is the king of, or the queen of C. Sorry, like all her util can clear back sight and force people to move around. It's just this layering of util that you really need to be working on.
Standing.
Are you
That guy got tips.
before last game? Hey, I should said I'm either.
Heavy.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just dead.
My way.
And like I know it's like solo queue, ranked, you know.
Here.
That's why
A lot of things can happen, but
Yeah.
you need to be utilizing your teammates, like having awareness for where they are and using that as,
One enemy remaining.
you know,
70.
Stealing sight.
like using that for your win essentially. Oh, you got the flicks.
She said she's gonna tell you a hard R.
Not my.
Okay, I think you could have stood in a better spot,
Stealing sight.
and I think you know why. It's fine. It's not really like. It's just that if you play in the smoke and you're against an omen, you need to be aware of just the fact that he can TP, okay? And like, I don't know. I wasn't really aware of it. You might have not been aware of it. You kind of were because you're ready to flick like that, but
I don't care.
just something to put out there, right? Because if he does the flash and then the TP like this, you guys are really screwed. You need to be standing in a better spot that allows you to watch Reyna or at least trade him very effectively. But it's kind of it's just that hole needs to be addressed. I don't have a solution for that, but you just need to be aware of that possibility, if that makes sense.
She's
You advance.
I would have liked to stand a little further back because you guys still had a lot of time, you know. If you force Omen to shoot your Reyna, then you can kind of like in theory get a free kill on him, but you know it's Valorant, anything can happen.
B? Wanna open the switch? They're in B.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'm opening it.
Spike down B.
Yeah, and as you open this door, you can throw some util through, like throwing a boombot through here to let you know if there's anybody main, because you know the people are on site. It's just like this layering of possibilities, and each possibility that is coming up, like a guy standing here, you have a piece of util to address that.
Really?
That way,
bro?
that way you're like consistently, effectively clearing everything.
One enemy remaining.
And man.
Last
Man.
player.
Really, bro?
One enemy remaining.
And man.
You
Same.
Yeah, I think I need to see a different clip of you shooting to really
You're
comment on
blind,
that,
I
because
still
you know
just
everyone
died.
kind of messes up in a while. Really not a big deal. And the Vandal doesn't shoot straight. Don't really worry about it.
Spike planted.
Yo.
Last player standing.
Got one. Satchel out. Does he even have time?
I do.
Yep.
Oh my.
Yeah, this round was way too hard. Hey, at least you got 3.
Oh my.
Oh my god, you're like the
I
only
mean,
one on
hard
this team
cleric.
doing anything.
I don't care.
Cancel.
Yo, this.
Like, what is that peak?
Okay.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Yo.
Oh,
Okay.
this is
Like,
nice.
Like, what is that peak?
Okay.
Oh, you
Like-
only had one
like,
last
what is
pack,
that
that's
peak?
why.
Okay.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Yo.
That guy actually goofed. You actually played that really well here.
Spike
What is
Only thing that I'd be a little worried about is I don't want you to. Valorant is a lot about angles. The more you're pressing W, or in this case, I think you're pressing W, and as you're moving diagonally, the more you're pressing forward, the more like options they can be exposing themselves to, right? This guy could hear you coming in, like this close right guy could hear you coming in and just do a wrap around you. I think it would be a lot better for you to just hold your rocket and just stand here.
Okay.
Spike planted.
Just stand right here and wait for something to happen. The closer you get to this tree, the more you're exposed to this 2v1. And like, yeah, granted, like if you wait here for another second, the gecko can wrap on you. But I think you have a higher chance of like safety in this play. What I'm saying is very nitpicky.
One
I do feel like they mess up and you played extremely well, but it's just something to think about. I'm not asking for you to make an adjustment to that play, but it's just bringing your awareness to these things that, you know, it seems like to me you're not paying attention. Or maybe not accounting for, and it's just like with Valorant, every piece of util, every piece of positioning, all these things you need to make sure you're layering together to make sure you're just being like the most annoying, you know, player ever.
Yo. Alright.
Enemy B.
Okay, so with these kinds of plays, it's really important that like you know like how this retake is gonna go down. With all of you guys funneled here, there's a good chance you guys are getting cleared by one Omen Flash, one Silver Thing, whatever. I really think that you should be calling for one of your teammates to lurk through B and try to just stab them in the back and play a post plant like that instead of you guys just funneling and just hoping that you guys 4vx like through C main, if that makes sense.
Alright, go sit down. Go.
Yeah. So these angles, you need to be like this is gonna be really nitty. So with these angles, what I would call diagonals, like this is a term I just made up. I would say these are the most powerful angles in the game. These diagonals. Why? Because the second you move into this line of sight, you see so much of the map, right? You see this guy close, maybe this guy close here, whatever. You need to be moving through these high traffic areas. It's almost like an intersection, like a traffic intersection. Technically, you don't want to be just standing in the middle because there's probably going to be a car hitting you. And I think that's the same thing in Valorant. This right here, high traffic highway intersection kind of deal, right? You do not want to be standing here. When you expose yourself to this line, I need you to be tapping 2 bullets at a head and just running away. You do not want to stay here. You do not want to stick yourself into this fight. I'll just replay it so it makes sense a little bit.
Alright, go sit down. Go.
Yeah, so you don't bite more. All you really want is that power angle, and you run away, really. Yeah, but I mean, I guess you were technically doing it, but it's just like
Continuing.
something that you should know, I would say, because it's so hard for me to just give you like 100% advice, because that just requires time, you know. Like that means I have to see you making the same mistake multiple times. Valorant, I really believe there's any play is a good play, you know, given the correct context, you know. But yeah, I can stop yapping.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, at least I get traded out.
Team A.
This is a tight game too, my friend. Predictions? I think you won this game.
Go A, go A, go A, go A, go A. You go A.
I actually think you won this game.
Literally could ask for it back.
Oh man,
I easily would have given it back to you.
Wait, low key? We can end B.
Just walked out of him. 2B. There's one CT as well.
Never mind. We go back A.
Out of charges.
Oh my god, I don't have to think. Okay.
Spike down.
Wait, what?
How the
Player
Out of.
This is also extremely important. If you guys are formatting A, you need to leave one guy behind to just enact on lurks. Because when you're a T side and you're executing plays, you always need someone in the back for you to, in the case that the A play doesn't go right, for you to, you know, bounce off of him and like go C or go B based off of this guy working in the back. If you, this guy just is like a caterpillar, if he like just caterpillars or snakes in whatever and he's too close to you, these lurks will just come in and you're probably gonna lose the round. Like here. Okay, we'll just skip this one. Not a big deal though. It happens. But it's just like really important for you to have this lurk or know at least like that the possibility is there.
My ult is.
He insta ran.
Where are you?
Yeah, here. This would be a great moment to have one guy in spawn just waiting for the A lurk or the B lurk or just to go behind them.
Okay, catch them.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Battle out.
Last player standing.
Nice try.
Bro.
I hope when you're watching this round it makes sense to you. Why I think it's a really good idea. If you guys have 5 people or 3 people or 4 people, whatever, and you have one guy just lurking in the back because of how insane these people's retake capabilities are. You need to really have respect for it. Like if they haven't thrown any pieces of util yet, on the retake, you should be ready and just have some kind of response. And a lot of that response, especially in Valorant, you gotta just give them that space. You gotta give them sight and just hope that you can just win it out gun wise. Either because
And then
that is so much better than just staying on site, getting util and just hoping. Oh my god, your teammates are terrible.
Sofa's B.
Gecko and
Where are
Raze were here.
Reloading.
Yo.
that is fucking so
Yo,
dumb.
where's this guy at?
Okay, we're gonna skip this round.
We're so
I just don't have any words for that. 6-11 and we still have 6-7 minutes left of the game. What happened, Green? Top fragging.
yeah.
You have two teammates combined that are 8 and 30. Okay, I need to stop zooming so fast.
So
So much for
Wait, low
recon.
key?
Grenade. Reloading. Satchel out.
Spike down B.
I have this.
Oh, you're kind of cooking. Okay, let's go. That was a sick play. I really like this. Why? I'm gonna highlight what this team did very well.
Joe.
When you guys, like, for any CT team, when you guys get that first pick,
so
a lot of people immediately are just like, oh shit, it's definitely gonna be A or B, right? So all these C players, like, all these B players gonna rotate really, really, really fast. When you take a lot of time to plant the bomb in a situation, you can bring them like you can expect within 20, 30 seconds that they're gonna really be in this in their spawn or like close to you guys. And if you can move the bomb somewhere else, it's like a very big deal. And then just like quickly planting A and then just post planting and hoping you win that round out.
So much for recon.
Kind of weird, kind of minor point. I hope that makes sense. This entry is pretty sick. Great, yeah. Nice. Nice round.
Bro, just like.
Where are you?
So again, I do not like formatting sites, okay? You'll hear me say this a lot. But it's just so easy for this enemy team to retake you guys. It could also be nuts.
Bring them down. Satchel out. Satchel out.
Oh, it is beautiful. I like that. If you're fighting here, you do not want to be too wide from this angle, okay? They definitely have an advantage over you, especially if you're like just standing in the middle of open in this pit.
Shut up. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Why is he flanking that fucking late?
Get out of here. Nice shot.
So that was great for him.
No.
Hey, good map awareness on your point. You hear two people? But do you see what I mean by like I think it's so much easier instead of you being on site and hoping you win this 1v1, it's like you're kind of using, like I said, those power angles when I was talking about C, for example, those two diagonals lining up. Imagine like it, instead of you just having to win this fight to, you know, for this round to continue, imagine if you were just Heaven, just throwing bullets and just playing time like making it really impossible, not even giving them the chance to kill you. I want you to be utilizing that kind of playstyle a little bit more, because I just think it's too much fighting. It's too much
Oh my god.
I would say that gunfights in Valorant are very 50-50, and the more you flip this coin, there's a higher chance of you just dying, right? The more you're in this possibility of the bullets coming to your head, higher chance of you dying. So if you just reduce the amount of times you could potentially take fire and extend your life, all those rounds are going to be a lot easier, and you're not going to rely on your last two teammates to clutch it out, you know? Like if you were against like really insane aimers, really insane Valorant players that know the clear stuff properly, that's how you want to be playing. Oh my god, he completely missed.
Hola. Hello. Grenade.
So, thing about this nade, this post-plant nade, your S tier nade is gonna be one that's hitting them as they're coming in. That is the perfect nade, so that the guy that's coming in is now separate from the people behind him, or you're just doing heavy damage on them. So holding that nade and waiting for the opportunity is really, really good. And you can know when that's going to happen, because usually with this enemy team, Omen, so like I don't want to keep repeating it, but they have a lot of insane util. The second you see a Sova drone, the second you hear like a Raze thing, whatever, just throw your nade. That's what I want you to be looking for.
It's too
Yeah, you don't want it to be too early, because now they're pushing it onto you and you have no nade. You need to see this. That's the point. That's the entire point of util that I'm trying to bring together right here.
Oh yeah!
Last player standing.
Yeah, and also again, and I know it's really annoying if you're watching this, but again, I think a guy that stayed in spawn for like 40-50 seconds and then worked up B and secured the round, I think that would be so good, because it's been very clear that you guys are able to get the bomb on C, but you guys still cannot finish these rounds. And it's not like a bad thing, but it's just like you guys got to note, like you as a player for this ranked game have to notice, even if you guys get the bomb down on C, your post plant is still really weak and you still lose these rounds, right? It's not about just getting the bomb down. Like if it's a save round and you just want to get money, you get the bomb down and that's your win. Like that's what you consider a win for this round. That's fine. I get it. But for a round like this where you need to win, I need you to be looking for different ways to change it up, because obviously your team just 5-manning, 4-manning, whatever, just clumping up is not working, and I need you to realize that. And also, I would be flaming your teammates right now. But hey, there's a reason I don't play this game anymore, and I just, do this kind of stuff. Like honestly, your team is pretty ass, but I do think there's a lot of chances that you could have maybe gotten 1 or 2 more kills and potentially won this game. But I do think a lot of it, and as you've heard me talking, if you're watching this whole thing, it's very clear that it's more so about using just teammates better, util better, layering these things together so that your options are like a little more concise, if that makes sense. It's not like you're constantly just like running in like, oh, what's going on, I don't know, like they could like randomly be here. No, we're slowly walking in, and as we're slowly walking in and using util, we're slowly cutting off more and more options, and eventually by cutting more and more options, there will be a route that has the highest chance of success, and that is the kind of play that we're looking for.
I'm scared, bro. Like, I'm low-key so scared. I don't know why.
You got it. It's good stinger angle.
Last player standing.
That timing is fucking not real.
Let's try. Doesn't make sense though, right? And it's a thing that I've noticed for how you play post plant A, post plant C. You do not want to play post plant and you're just right by the bomb. What happens in the enemy team POV right now? They know the bomb's down. You have Sova in heaven and you have Omen pretty much on site. They're both looking at you from all these angles, right? And they're like, where is he gonna be? They're gonna look at bomb first, and it's just gonna be very obvious, right? The sooner that you give up your location in these post plant situations, they don't need to figure out as much, right? One of the biggest things you can do in this position as a last player with bomb down is just hide where you are. So they have to get a little antsy. They have to utilize some util. And hopefully throughout all this antsiness and them throwing util, you will find a hole in their gameplay, right? For example, there's a guy like planning, like having to defuse the bomb, right? You could throw a blast back, throw some boom bots at them, get an idea of what's going on, right? There will be situations where they stick it. There will be situations where they don't stick it, right? But let's say you throw the boom bot, right? Or blast back out, or like throw a fake blast pack, something like that, and you hear 2 guns fire off. Then you know they're not sticking it, and the pressure just like keeps building up for them. And that is how you want to be approaching these rounds. It's not just you just going out there and fighting, it's you like taking all these things and like you're pretty much like collecting all these things and making it into this like mountain of your advantage, and there's like nothing else that can be done. This sounds a little ridiculous, and I'm hearing myself say this right now, and it sounds really crazy, but I hope it makes sense, right? A lot of your plays that I'm seeing from this game are you just standing really close and trying to fight it out, right? There's a time and place for everything, but I cannot have this being your go-to play. Your go-to play in Valorant needs to be ratty. Needs to be like, where is he? I have no idea where he is. Is he gonna be tree? Is he gonna be heaven? I have no clue, right? Things like that. You need to be switching things up, and you need to keep these people on their toes. If you reveal your location too early, it's like giving them that answer to like a test or something, or like it's just like folding your hand, just giving all this info. Like where you are is like the most crucial piece of this round, and the more you're able to hide that fact, that like it's like a time, it's like the bomb's ticking, haha. But your chances of winning this round keep going like by 1%, like every second. It's just higher and higher because they don't know what to do. You haven't revealed yourself, right? And that's just what I want to be thinking, or want you to be thinking. I'm watching this gameplay and I don't see a lot of like decision like analysis or decision making matrices. I just feel like it's just you running it down and just hoping for the best, which is fine for an entry. But at this point, with all these rounds, I feel like you're just missing out on a lot of potential wins. Yeah, so conclusion, all of these, I need you to stop formatting sites on the... Okay, we'll just talk about T side in the beginning. This doesn't even work. Do not caterpillar in like here, okay? If you see your team 4-man caterpillaring in, then I need you to be playing B site, or like even lurking A or something like that. People are going to say, Raze lurk, haha, you're bad. Dude, there is no way your 4 teammates cannot take a site. Omen util, Reyna util, Fade util. That site has to be taken unless there's 3-4 people shooting all that util out and it's even, and now you have to go somewhere else. But a lot of it just comes into like that kind of thinking and moving. Like I don't even think your mechanics are that much of an issue. I just feel like you just like it's like you're flipping that coin, right? I need you to have more
He's alive. He's actually
value on your own life. Like you like come on, think about it, right? Like you don't want to be flipping that coin that much, right? Of every time you have a gunfight and like you're fighting a guy and he's firing bullets at you. You do not want that to be fair. You want to be flipping this coin when you have an advantage every time, even if it's 51% to 49. You still rather flip that than just like a blind 50-50 every time. So having kind of like I kind of think of it as like a backboard for a lot of CT players, especially if you're solo queuing and you see your teammate 4 or 5 manning sites, because that's all people know how to do, you know, like
Oh, at least I get traded out.
and yeah, especially post plant, do not just like pick the closest wall and stand there. Make them think, make them like antsy thinking about where you could be, you know.
Oh my god.
Um, yeah, those are like the 2 major points from this VOD. If there's anything I want to go over, those are the 2 things that I think are really important and would help you. But yeah, Green, thank you so much, and I will see the next VOD from you. I'm sorry, it's this game was really just like could have utilized your team a little bit more, but it's more of just like a team play issue than a mechanical issue. And yeah,